on the show is Emmanuel Wilson. He is the Communications Director of the PNC and the convener for COES. Good morning, Emmanuel Wilson. It's good to have you back onto the program. First thought that came into your mind when you heard that there would be upgraded new Ghana cities for the system?
Three things actually came into my mind, but the very one that was very strong was that it's just an avenue for some individuals to make money. It's just an avenue for us to misuse the public funds and the poor taxpayer. And if I make reference to the poor taxpayer, I'm making reference to those individuals who every morning, afternoon, evening, when you go to our major market, you will see the so-called abaye persons chasing them. I'm talking of the kayaye and the kaya
to pay taxes.
To pay taxes, 1 cedi, 2 cedi, 3 cedi. I am talking of the taxi driver who will struggle, juxtaposing the fact that we are living in a situation or a current environment where the fuel prices seems to be escalating every now and then. He will struggle, one, to buy fuel, two, to ensure that he is able to raise some amount of money to go and give to his car owner, and then three, to also ensure that he pays the necessary taxes for him not to be found wanting at the face of the law, and also to ensure that he's able to raise some few amount of money to take home to go and take care of his family, pay school fees, pay for daily food and all that. These individuals who keep struggling every now and then, these monies that they pay to the government, it is very clear that the proposal by the Bank of Ghana to, as best to describe, creating of a new currency is just an avenue.
An upgrade.
Upgrade of the Ghana currency, that is the Ghana Cedi. It's just an avenue to misuse, an avenue to ensure that someone somewhere enriches him or herself. And so these were just the things that came into my mind. The other thing that came into my mind was that this is clearly a misplaced priority. And it enforces the fact that as a nation, we've not been able to have leaders who would surely set our priorities right as a nation. If we talk of what is really happening and what BOJ is supposed to come and tell us, we were expecting that the first thing they would have come to tell us are measures to ensure that our currency is strengthened. That is the most important thing we need now.
Could this be a measure?
How can this be a measure? Absolutely, this cannot be a measure. If you look at the press statement or the press release that came from Bank of Ghana, dated 8th of April 2019, and they indicate that between now and 5th of May, that will be the last period where we'll be seen, using this current currency in its current form. And so from 6th of May, we are going to start having the upgraded, so-called upgraded currency. Now, if you look at the press release that came from them, strangely, the only reason they gave is that the upgraded banknotes will have enhanced security features in line with evolving changes in the technological landscape. Well, that is just the reason.
That could be important too.
How important is that?
I mean,
particularly
moving toward a more technological world.
Particularly when just 2007, we spent an amount of $66.2 million to redenominate.
Yeah, what's it come to the cost over there?
Now,
you say what, 66?
$66.2 million.
This, however, is not redenomination.
This is not redenomination.
However,
I'm linking
even if we look at this new notes, and even if it costs just a quarter of what it cost in 2007, that's still quite a lot of money.
I know, but I haven't even gotten to there yet. The reason why I brought in that is that one reason given for the redenomination was that we needed to have a currency, a note, that meets the standard of technological standard. Isn't it so painful and ironical that 2007 to 2019, how many years? 12 years. We spent $66.2 million to upgrade a currency, and that currency could not stand the test of time. in terms of technological development, not for even a minimum of 15 years, 12 years on. All we are saying is that that amount of money that was used, and one reason for using that amount of money was for us to have a strong currency in terms of technological and security features. That technological and security features could not stand the test of time for even a minimum of 15 years. 12 years on, we are going to use another amount of money which we are yet to even know, just to upgrade. So what happened to that upgrade that took place? Whoever brought in those security measures, didn't the person do a forecast to know that, look, between now and the next 20 years, this is how technological advancements will be. And so whatever measures we are putting in place today, it should be able to take us between now and a minimum of 20 years. $66.2 million is gone.
Of course, people also talk about the economic repercussions of what is just going to happen, the current state of the economy, and what's happening now. The Ghana Cedi struggling against major foreign currencies, and people are asking whether this is a good is this a good time to print new notes for our country, in view of the fact that our Ghana Cedi is already struggling. It's been through some really tough days. Looking a little stable now, but still a bad time for us. Really bad time for you.
But that's exactly, it buttresses what I said earlier on as one of the things that came into my mind. That we as a nation, and it is not just the Bank of Ghana, of course, we are discussing Bank of Ghana. But if you go beyond Bank of Ghana, you realize that particularly in this Fourth Republic, we've never had leadership who have been able to set our priorities right as a nation.
Wow.
We were expecting that when Bank of Ghana was going to issue a release, what they would have done was to give us some hope and some comfort by proposing to us some few measures that they are thinking of implementing to ensure that to a very large extent we will be able to have some little hope in our currency. Every day, every now and then, our currency is messing up. Today you go to the forex market and you go and buy $1 for X amount. By close of day you go there and it is X plus 1 amount. The next day is X plus 1 amount. And that is what is happening. And so we were expecting, or I was personally expecting, and indeed the PNC was expecting, that at this time, if anything will even come from Bank of Ghana, it should be something that will communicate hope. Particularly to individuals who are engaged in the exporting and importing business. And not just them. You know, the very moment our cedi depreciates or our cedi weakens, as we are seeing now, it affects virtually everything. Everything. And so not even those who are in active business, but you and I, who go to even purchase, to go and buy and consume, we are also affected. Why is it that Bank of Ghana decided, among all the worrying things that is going on around our currency, the best they can talk about is to find a way of strengthening the security measures? Why? If we are talking of security measures, are you telling me that the pounds, the dollar, the Canadian dollar, and all the so-called strong currencies, we don't have counterfeit of them in the system?
I guess there are.
There are. Now, even today, you go to some places and individuals in Ghana are trying to use counterfeit dollars to purchase and to make transactions. So the fact that your currency doesn't have the so-called, which I'm even yet to believe, the so-called security
technological
features,
advancements,
doesn't mean at this time that this is what we need to do. But Kim,
Wilson, there's a lot to talk about.
I'm coming.
Let's talk about this cost that the BOG doesn't know about yet. Ejiwa reported in the Business News that the BOG didn't give a figure that will be used for this printing of this upgraded notes. Do you think the Bank of Ghana should already have an estimated figure to give to the public, that this is how much you're going to spend on this upgraded notes?
But you see, I told you that this is just an avenue for some individuals to enrich themselves. If you've been able to come out to give us a specific date and say that on the 6th of May, we are going to begin, or we are going to see new notes, it means that it is already in the process.
It means you should have the costing still.
You should have the costing. I would be very surprised that as we speak now, Bank of Ghana has not kickstarted the production of these so-called new notes. I'll be surprised. But you see, knowing very well how things have been in the past, I'm not so surprised. You remember 2017, Bank of Ghana came out with a new 5 Cedi notes. To date, we don't even have the cost for it. We don't know the cost for that 5 Cedi note. That small, short 5 Cedi note.
Yeah.
You know, we don't know the cost of it as we speak now. Our inability as a nation to even hold our leadership and leaders accountable is worrying. This, at the end of the day, is not money coming from the pocket of any BOJ governor.
Or executive.
It is, or executive.
No,
it is coming from the taxpayer. Now, the worrying part, the most worrying part is this. If you look at the press release again, it says that the upgraded and the existing series of banknotes will co-circulate.
With the old one.
With the old one.
Of course, it will take some time for the
It
old
did
ones
not specify that we are going to fade off the old one. It didn't say that. Mind you, the reason why I'm making this
well, you know,
interpretation,
it will co-circulate until
the old ones are
taken
taken out of the
why.
system. Let me tell you why. If you look at the redenomination in 2007, when it took place in July,
yeah.
Specifically, Bank of Ghana came out and said that the old one will be in existence for 6 months. By the end of 2007, December, when we entered 2008, no one saw the old currency. It went off.
Everybody took it back to the banks and
exactly.
took the new one.
It went off. Today, in 2017, we came out with a new 5 Cedi note. As we speak, 2017 to date, how many years? 2 years on. We are still having the new currency, that is the new 5 Cedi, and the old 5 Cedi in circulation.
Oh.
Today,
I personally haven't seen the old one in circulation.
I nearly brought it to the studio.
Personally, I haven't.
I am surprised you are saying you haven't seen it. It's in the system, right? I'm surprised. For some reason, it dawned on me to bring it to the system.
It looks like someone has
very
one.
well. Thank you very much.
Can you just bring it on?
So you see, I know what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
You get it?
Okay.
2 years on. I know what I'm talking about, King.
Okay. I guess they are just so similar, I didn't take notes.
2 years
so
on.
This is the newer one that has...
This is the newer one that came.
Dr. Agri on it.
Yes, and then we have this one.
The big
Thank you for sharing. I'm sure I'll keep it, right? now, the worrying part is this. Mm-hmm. If, King, you are saying that for lack of security features, you are bringing in a new one. Mm-hmm. Why then do you keep the old one and the new one
to co-circulate together? Yes. The old one is clearly even longer.
Yes, that's what I mean. The new one, the 2017
even
one,
larger than.
The people call it somebody's currency, which is not fair. I won't go there, but they say it's very short and it looks like somebody. I don't know what you mean.
Emmanuel Wilson Jr.
But
I've got to thank you for coming there. We have a lot to cover. We'll bring you back so we continue this discussion. It's always,
but this is just too short.
It's always really interesting with you. And there's not enough time. I want to thank you so much for coming.
That's okay. Thank you very much.
We'll hopefully talk next week.
But I will encourage you, the media, to... You see, the problem we also have is that when issues come up, we talk about it, and the next moment we forget about it. If we go consistently and continuously on it, I'm sure that someone will sit up and do his work well. Because at the end of the day, as I indicated, it is the taxpayers' money that goes to waste. Why do you want to bring new a note which has got new security features and will not be wise enough to say that because the current one doesn't have the security features, we are going to fade it off? But you tell me that we are going to circulate it, there's going to be a co-circulation. Then at the end of, if you believe that the current one should still be in the system, why do we need to take money, the taxpayers' money, to go and create a new one? It doesn't make sense.
Valid points. Thank you so much, Emmanuel Wilson Jr. Emmanuel Wilson Jr. is the communications director for the PNC and the convener for CORES. A really interesting discussion.